Hi everybody, this is Caroline Sotheby and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. Okay, this was a busy weekend, and before we go to our guests, I'll have Joe go and give us, there's some things on the dogs. They were on Van Alstyne, and I'm not quite sure if you can get all the activity, but those dogs were chasing something around, and a couple of them were lucky enough to get it and got a clap from the audience there saying, hey, good. But a lot of activity. This was on Van Alstyne, and you can see people are still coming. That was in the afternoon. They had a nice setup, a lot of people, a lot of dogs, of course, and had enough space to keep everybody sort of happy. And on the other side was a tent, of course, for refreshments. So that's another year. They call this Bark on Biddle, but right now they're on Van Alstyne, which gives them a little bit more room, and we'll find out what's happening next year. But another place I went to was the museum. It was their annual pie and ice cream. I didn't get to the upstairs, but I noticed a lot of the old-fashioned cars were out there. This time they had only maybe about 5 or 6 of them. Sometimes they have more people there. And you can see the porch where some people have been sitting there and having their ice cream and pie. That's, of course, the sign. And it looked pretty sharp there. A lot of people were out taking pictures. So I found out from Dan Gillespie there's going to be something special again on June 23rd. And so we'll have to find out more information on that and let you all know. And then the next stop was the Sunday Social, which is on the old Wind-Up Theater lot. A lot of people were actually there. It was nice to see. Of course, there's the cement where the parking lot is. So you get a little bit of some of the reconstruction going on there. The band was playing at that time, so you might hear some music in the background. But they had vendors there. And of course, what is convenient about that area, you have quite a few restaurants, and you also have taverns. So you could go and get your drink to go and go sit out there and enjoy yourself. And of course, it was a nice, sunny, hot day, which worked out. So we're going to find out more about what's going to take place in the rest of the summertime with our guests. I mean, even the kids, they were still playing games there. And it was the first Sunday of 2025. And so it's working out. And I think people, especially with the weather is nice, hey, you like to get out and go do something like that. And entertainment comes in handy. And we got it right here in town. And getting more information is art. I mean, Andy, you're talking about art in different places, different ways. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start? I mean, you were active last year with the tables and having the kids always, at that social. Now, this year, that's sort of going out, but it's going into another department on another day. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we move around. And the reason I think being is that I really anticipated that Sunday Socials was going to really take off this year. Rebecca and Gabriel, they set the standard. They got some great sounds, great musicians. And we've learned a lot. Some of the things that they learned was that we started instead of 12 o'clock, we started at 2 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And now we're to 6 o'clock. And that seemed to really hit a good spot. So they really changed to make it even more successful. And I really felt that that was going to be the case. The first year we were learning, and I wanted to be a part of it because it was a great opportunity to get art involved. And what I mean by that is that's the idea. My nonprofit's called Choose Hope Anyway. And I just want to link myself with other nonprofits and bring the art element to it. So instead of like being separate or competing, I want to work together with it. And as we spoke before, that this is something that's not new. This has been tried before. But I really believe that the timing right now, the way the city is grooving and moving, is perfect. And what's happening is there's just so much going on. And like the Sunday Socials, that there's another band coming on next week. It's called CC Cats, and they're going to have the first startup band is going to be Derry, and they're going to do their thing. And so it's really, really wonderful. But Choose Hope Anyway has changed their movement, and I'm working along with the Bacon Memorial Library, Henry Ford Hospital. I've been with them before. And now we're going to do this thing called Art in the Park, and it's just sensational. I mean, Bishop Park is so beautiful, as you could see in some of the footage you laid.
Yeah.
It's one of the most beautiful parks, I believe, in Michigan, and to have events out there is just so perfect. So that's where the Art in the Park is going to be, in Bishop Park. And we're going to do it every Wednesday, and we're going to do it from 3 to 5. And every Wednesday, we're going to have a different craft. So, yeah, it's focused on children, but families too. The idea is that the kids come, mama comes, daddy comes.
Yeah.
Maybe grandparents come. Maybe the aunts and uncles come. And then all of a sudden now we have a situation where we have a community happening event. And that's where Choose Hope Anyway really wants to rest. That's the niche I look at. And art and art therapy is such a wonderful thing, because when kids are creating, when adults are creating, they're not in that mindset where I got to do this, it's a release. It's a breather. It's a time to just enjoy the surroundings of Bishop Park, enjoy the crafts that are there, enjoy the music, because we're gonna have some music there too.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's one of our events is going to be called. We're going to work with sand, and we're calling it Zen. We're going to have a violinist there, and it's just going to be a really cool atmosphere, low key, but just really nice,
So
relaxing.
basically, every week you're going to have a theme.
And we're going to have a theme, for sure. Every week we're going to have a theme. Just to get my notes out,
Okay.
The first one is Sunpaper. And that's just a really cool thing. What you do is you gather things around the park, and you put it on this paper. And once you put it on the paper, there's a chemical on the paper that allows the imprint of whatever you put on there from the sun. There's a chemical reaction, and then you have this beautiful piece of a leaf or a stick or whatever you decide to put on top of it. And the kids are going to love it. And and let me just give a shout out to Bacon Memorial Library and the people there, Lynn Buston,
Kelly, too.
Kelly Ray, Curtis Hunt, Cecilia O'Connell, Joanne Hedger. These are all people, you call it Bacon Memorial Library, but you know what it really is? It's a community center.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It is. It's not that thing where you think about, oh, be quiet, dude. No, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
And they do such a fabulous job, and I've gotten an opportunity to meet these players, and I want to go along with that. I want to work with them because I can see an opportunity for art. And I can see an opportunity for children. I can see an opportunity for families. And that's really the that's the personality of Choose Hope anyway.
Okay.
Bringing community, family, art, recovery, all those kinds of things.
Recovery in many different ways.
Absolutely.
Because let's face it, with the change, I mean, we were just talking about, communication, newspaper, that sort of seeing its sidelines because of the new methods of communicating to communities, so to speak. But in order for the library to be able to survive, it just wasn't like I'm coming in and getting a book and say goodbye. Now they have to have different people coming in, say artists or whatever you have, say, hey, come on. If you come for this session, 2-3 hours, you have they even teach them how to make bread now too. So it just goes to show they have to organize it and get people that are willing to come in and devote some time to teaching. And
Absolutely.
it's not just buy a book anymore.
Things have changed. I mean,
Yeah.
and what's really cool about it, there's a room that I think Curtis had a lot to do with it from the Bacon Memorial Library, but he won't take any credit for it, which is really kind of a cool thing. He says it's the team, But
Yeah.
you walk in this room, it's all glass. There's tables. There is a feeling when you walk in it. You're already in that. I'm somewhere different. I'm not in the hubbub of busyness, and you feel it. And the kids for sure feel it. That's where they really have a inkling to that. And that produces that creativity, and it produces that breath away from the world, away from all the things that you have that are challenging.
Yeah.
And this world's a little different than it was 20 years ago. So, and I think we have to pay attention to that.
And it's thankful to groups like that.
Oh my God.
That I can work together with different ideas.
So open to it. I mean, it was beautiful. The way it came so organically. Heather Rudy from the hospital had an idea, and she's very community oriented. The hospital really understands that there is the hospital that does treatments and uses surgeries and stuff like that, but they also know there's another treatment, and that treatment is art, creativity, and they see the other side. Heather Rudy is very, very in tune with the understanding that, this is a great after fact. So like children that have to deal with cancer, that have to deal with all these things and see their parents, and they're really not understanding, but they're not in a place where then you give them some art, you give them some relaxation, you bring some music. And then there's this after care, I think, that what art can really do.
How long ago was that you got involved with that?
With
the hospital?
Well, I first met them about 2 years ago when I was working with the DCA. Mm-hmm. And I had an art show there and stuff like that, and I took that money that we sold some art there. It was really awesome. And I took it and we gave it all back to the DCA to keep their programs going. So that's like where Choose Hope anyway wants to be. I'm not looking for bright lights. I'm just looking for places that I can help make a difference to. Not a lone soldier, but amongst a group, a village, let's say. And it's cool that way. It's really cool that way because you're not the boss of things, but you're a part of things. And that's where Choose Hope anyway wants to be, a part of things.
I vaguely remember the first time you came on and how you got involved with art yourself.
Yes.
You were struggling and had some situations.
Yeah. A couple situations, more than one, and I found art to be quite a great thing. I give it credit for helping me move through some of these things, and my cancer journey, stem cell transplant, things like that. Art was the one that, when I was there and doing it, I wasn't in that thought about what about tomorrow, what about that next test, what about this. So there was a breath. even though it didn't last for the duration of all the treatments, but having a breath is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And even in addiction, that played a role for me too.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. And that, because one has, people, they don't understand about addiction. Addiction isn't something that we want. It's a disease, and it's something that happens. And you need to find a way to channel those energies that you channeled
In
to
a
in a positive way, because they're there. They don't go away.
Yeah.
So you have to replace. You have to replace.
I think sometimes we almost need a class for adults. Maybe not. Yeah, but I think adults, because we take things for granted sometimes, and we see situations maybe even going on in our own family, and we sort of condemn that individual, not realizing they're in a situation, they're stuck to it basically, even though maybe they wanted to get out of that, they don't know how, and we don't know how to help them.
I didn't know how. And so true what you said. The thing that I really understand about everybody, there's not a soul in this world that doesn't have something they're dealing with, something that's difficult. We walk around thinking, oh, it's just me, or no, there's many of us out there that struggle for trying to find, how do I replace this behavior, or how do I move on from this place? And I found that art, music, theater, all these creative juices really play a wonderful role in helping one go through those times.
When you mention art and theater, that brings back many memories when Wyandotte Community Theater. Wow, excuse me. I used to be active, and we had gone down there to do like a video thing from the beginning, from interviews, blah blah blah, to the very final game, ending. And it's surprising what you can understand, why these individuals enjoy acting. They're playing a different part, another role that is not them really. And it's experimental to a point, but maybe they can all of a sudden put that in their own life. They can pretend there's somebody else at another point in time, just because they had a chance to be on the stage and do something else.
I think expression and creativity are not given enough credit. I really believe that, and everybody thinks, well, I'm not an artist. No. It's not about artists. It's not about the finished product. It's not about, does it look like art or not. No, it's about expression. And that expression is something that helps unload some of the stuff that we don't know what to do with. And I'm not saying it's the end all, but I'm saying it's definitely a big part
And
of
a beginning.
That. Yeah, it's a beginning.
Because you never know where that's going to lead to.
No, you don't. You really don't.
And you had quite a few pictures that people that actually paint, and like you said, you even sold them for that, and money. Beautiful.
And I even, I give a shout out to Abundant Living. Now, Abundant Living is a little shop there. My wife, she makes some purses, right? And those purses that she makes is for Choose Hope anyway. And it's all about sending that monies back to the kids, to the community, to art. And so, our businesses in Wyandotte have been amazing, because they have had to go through this construction, the dip. And I'm not saying that was a bad thing, but it was a challenging thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna wake up and we're gonna have all our parking lots done, all our lights up, all our things ready, and that's going to definitely benefit all of the businesses and stuff. But going through that and staying solvent, which I'm sure was challenging, and I'm sure still is challenging, I just want to give them a shout out. And then they turn that energy, instead of sitting down and just saying, all this or all that.
Or
they turn
closing the door.
They turned it into Shop the Dot. They turned it into these different things in the city of Wyandotte. You know, Heather Teedy and Joe Gruber, and they're really hooked into community and family. I mean, they do so much. Our special events are unbelievable, and I don't think comparable to anywhere else. And that's why that was the beginning of all the stuff that's coming is all because of what was stayed, what was created, Pat Slack, all these people that really did a lot. And, you know, with no fanfare, love, right? For the love of it. And we talk about that. It's not about money. It's about the love of it. And that is where it really translates to other people.
Which is, sometimes to some people, they're probably saying, I don't know what you're talking about. But you have to get out and witness it, just like over the weekend. 3 different events alone on the same day. And yet there were people milling around. Even the dogs were at the social. I mean...
Well, that was the idea, see? That was the beautiful idea, because we're not looking for standalone things. We're looking for that whole thing so everybody can use. Instead of one place worrying about what they're doing, we're working it all together.
Yeah.
And I like this momentum. And now that DIP is on its way to finishing, I just see the timing has just been fantastic. Although there's a little pain, right?
Oh, not a little pain. I think for a lot of them, I mean, you mentioned the business on the corner. I think she put up through a lot of problems where nobody was able to park in her area. I mean, even the business people that were working had to find places to go. I mean, it wasn't an easy thing.
No,
they've
it wasn't.
Gone through it.
It wasn't easy. You know, and here's the thing, is that what we did, the city council, the DDA, and the people that were on the inside of it, they got out there, and there was this, and I call it the Biden train, that had this money that was being offered to cities. Now, it wasn't guaranteed to the cities. It was going to be offered. And there was a formality in how one would be able to get these grants. So our city and our people that made decisions, they found a way to touch on what we need to do, how we need to do it, to get this money that's out there. You just don't get it.
No.
You have to show reason. You have to show care. You have to figure out these grants. And I mean, I don't think this is ever going to happen again, but that's just, it will. But
well,
this
maybe
was
years
quite
from
a
now,
thing.
but I mean, it was due. You figure how old the city actually is, what the underground basically was deteriorating and what their problems were, and if you didn't take care of it sooner or later, we wouldn't have what we have at the city. Like our one person that came for the other show said, Wyandott's a country in itself, because they have your water, your electricity, your all this stuff. We've been fortunate, but our forefathers were the ones that got us started.
Believe that.
Yeah.
Believe that. I mean, my father-in-law was George Tatcher. He was the city engineer for many, many years. And he had a vision about downtown, about shops, about, you know, making it. And honestly, and I know I'm prejudiced, but I don't think there's a nicer downtown in any comparison than the waterfront of Wyandotte. The people that, you know, we have this beautification
Yeah.
that goes around and waters these. You see our plants? You see how beautiful they are?
They work. They work.
They work hard.
Yeah.
They certainly
As a
do.
matter of fact, I was going to call up Alice and say, okay, she's been given hints, you know, on the Facebook, like, treat your plants, blah, 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 you know, just don't pull them, cut them, and all this stuff. And I was going to say, you either should get in a show of your own, or how about coming on occasionally and give us some hints?
Oh, she's a good one, that one there.
Oh, God, yeah.
She's the Alice that makes the Wonderland. No, and that's my own little gig with her. But honestly, you look at those big pots, and
Oh.
how she makes those flowers go. And now she's getting more support. And again, the city is moving into that support for her because we got bigger pots. We got pots that are on the lights. I mean, it's a really beautiful downtown. And once we get this dust off of us, we're going to really be proud to have any kind of event, and people are going to be proud to get, and then our schools and all that. I mean, it just seems like we're really moving in a really good a place to be.
You know, many years ago, I'm saying 10, 15 years ago, when people would be guests from out of town coming on the show, and they'd have to come for the first time down Biddle Avenue, that Jefferson goes to Biddle Avenue. Wow, and you got the river and you got all this. I mean, they were actually surprised and overwhelmed, like, this is a beautiful place. You got to visit us more often.
We're not going to be that best kept secret anymore.
Oh, no.
No, it's not going to be that way. I mean, Wyandotte Shores, they are doing a fantastic job at the golf course. They've went from, I didn't even know it was here, to people from all over the state come down and play, and the people that take care of it, Scotty Ford, the maintenance of it, just a fantastic job. So there's just so much to be proud about of the city of Wyandotte.
Yeah. We just got the 2-minute cue, so you want to remind everybody, Art in the Park on Wednesdays?
Yeah, and I would just want to remind everybody that the city of Wyandotte is happening.
Okay.
There's a lot to do. Get out of your house. Let the people know. If you see something online, like you see something on Facebook, share it. Let's get the word out because it's time.
Yeah.
And then we got the big Latitudes opening up.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about that?
More good news, right?
Yep, and they're opening up in a couple more weeks, so we're going to find out more about that. Thanks for coming, and you got to keep us posted.
I will, and
All
I
right.
have pleasure. It's so nice to work with you, Carolyn, and I'm just so thankful that you stay in this game like this because you're very important.
Well, it keeps me going.
I love it. I love it.
Just like you. Okay. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Okay.